Welcome to Fireside Giants. My name is Alex. My co-host here, Anthony Rivardo. I've just spent the last couple minutes staring at the wall. I enjoyed that far more than I did watching that Giants game. There's not much to say. It was painful. Dexter Lawrence, you owe us big time. Offsides on the last play there after Hopkins missed the kick. I was so excited. I've never felt something steal, somebody, a team, a person steal so much happiness away from me in such a short amount of time. I have no words to describe how I'm feeling right now. I feel as though I enjoy pain a lot more these days than actual joy watching the Giants. This is a tough one, my friends. This is one of the hardest losses I think we've experienced in quite a while. There've been a bunch of them. This one hurts a lot. This one hurts a lot. I am in physical duress right now. I feel like I'm having organ failure. My liver gone. Pancreas, forget about it. Kidneys failing. It's only a matter of time before I drop dead, Anthony. How I can barely speak. How are you feeling? I don't even know what to say.
Feeling horrible. Feeling like I don't even want to talk about this, but there is a lot to say, and a lot of it is pretty negative. But I'm going to start it off on a positive note. There's one major glaring positive from this game, in my opinion, and it is Daniel Jones. I think you can blame just about everybody except for Daniel Jones for this game. He maybe started off a little shaky in the first half, but man, he turned it on in the second half. He played a damn good football game, arguably the best of his short career so far. He was making all the throws. He was hitting people in stride in the clutch, making anticipatory throws. He was throwing some dimes. He threw a dime to Slayton that should have sealed the game. Slayton dropped it. He had an awesome 60-yard touchdown run. It was called back by a bullshit holding penalty. That was a horrible call by the refs. Jones did great. Jones did everything we asked him to. He went out there, he balled out, and he played a really good football game. But top to bottom, Joe Judge sucked. Jason Garrett sucked. He turned it up a little bit in the second half, but generally speaking, we're going to get into it a little further. I think he sucked. Patrick Graham sucked. The whole defense really just sucked. The offensive line was super inconsistent. The playmakers, minus Sterling Shepard, sucked. This game sucked. This was painful. The discipline of this team is horrible. Joe Judge preaches disciplined football. He preaches that this is going to be a team that doesn't make those stupid mistakes. That's why they run all those laps in practice, right? Because that teaches you not to make these dumb mistakes in games. All right, so explain to me how we had 2 penalties on the final drive of the game, one of which actually cost us the game completely. The first one, Lorenzo Carter, what are you doing lining up in the neutral zone? Are you stupid? And then the second one, Dexter Lawrence, what are you doing jumping off sides? Are you stupid on a field goal? Come on. It's not like there's a hard count on field goals. Nothing made you jump except for you. You got a little jittery. Why are you even out there? If you can't play in that moment, don't be on the field. Take yourself out of that position. We caught a break. They missed the field goal. And then, of course, Dexter Lawrence.
The Giants are pain, bro. You have to know this already. We are not meant to be. We had our luck in the past against the Patriots, the football gods. They're like, your cup's empty, bro. Your cup's empty for the next 50 years. You're screwed. Everybody was a disaster except for Daniel Jones. He was the only guy that actually had a good game for this team, right? Daniel Jones on the read options, he was running, he was getting yards with his legs, he was slinging the ball, he was accurate as hell. The Giants, everybody else lost this game, okay? Darius Slay dropping that pass in the end zone, that was the sealer. That was the game winner, and he freaking dropped it. He does this a lot.
And he drops a lot of passes, and I got to jump in there right away and say, some people were responding to me on Twitter saying Daniel Jones overthrew that a little bit. Okay, he overthrew that by what? 3 inches? Exactly. It
was in his hands. I took a picture of it.
That's the thing with Darius Slay. If it's not a perfect throw right in the basket, he's not catching it. He can't adjust. He can't extend. He can't do anything unless the ball is in the perfect position. And even when it is, he still drops it sometimes. Darius Slay is not what people make him out to be. And that was a good throw by Daniel Jones with a man in his face. He got hit on that throw. He laid it out there perfectly. All Slayton had to do was adjust, make the catch, and win the game. But he couldn't do that. It was ridiculous. And I don't want anybody to say anything about Daniel Jones for that throw, because that is the best throw that he could have done under pressure like that.
Look, I'm looking at the schedule right now. we might beat the Falcons. We're definitely losing to the Saints. We're definitely losing to the Cowboys, definitely the Rams, probably the Panthers, definitely the Chiefs, definitely the Raiders, definitely the Buccaneers, probably the Eagles, probably the Dolphins, definitely to the Chargers. We might win 2 games this year. We might actually have the first and second overall picks. And that is the only thing keeping me from like jumping out my window right now, is the fact that Dave Gettleman's sorry ass will be gone because he's constructed a team that is the most like polarizing group of players you could ever put together. On one day, this guy is amazing, and then the next week, he's garbage. You know what I mean? Daniel Jones, like, inconsistent as hell. On one day, today, he has an unbelievable game, and then the next week, he'll throw an interception and fumble, falling over his own feet. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand, like, what is wrong with these players. They lack discipline. And Joe Judge, with his freaking mantras and his freaking his quotes and his speeches about discipline and players being in line and listening and doing the right thing. This team is the most undisciplined team we've seen in quite some time. And Eli Apple's mom has been at practice before, causing havoc. And Joe Judge is here telling us how good this team is, how they're going to put a good product on the field for our hard-earned money. And what I saw tonight was an absolute embarrassment to this area, to New York. We got through COVID. We were New York tough. We fought, man. We fought here for the last year and a half. We kicked some ass. And they come out here and do that shit. It's unbelievable that we have to sit through that. We have to watch a defense that was supposed to be top 5, top 10, give up 30 points to Taylor Heinicke, who had 3 touchdowns in his career. Okay? The Giants blew that. The defense specifically blew that game. Jason Garrett found the Chargers playbook from last week in a freaking trash can at the Washington Stadium and was like, I'm going to use some of these plays. Finally, they let Daniel Jones throw the ball downfield. We finally see a little bit better out of DJ, using the RPOs, using the read options, using his arm talent to get the ball downfield, taking shots. We saw some good throws from Daniel Jones, some great accuracy. He looked awesome. I was very happy with him. What the hell happened to our defense? We have no pass rush. We had 40 sacks last year, ranked 12th in the NFL, with Carter Coughlin and Jabal Shared as our outside linebackers. We have Lorenzo Carter and Azeez Ojulari, and we can't even get any pressure on Taylor Heinicke. Are you serious right now? Our interior defensive line, Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, nothing. Are we missing Dalvin Tomlinson that much that we can't get any pressure? Like, it's blowing my mind. Did we change the scheme? Screw it, bro. Go back to last year's scheme. The soft zone coverage, a mess. James Bradbury was awful until that interception. Awful. He was awful. He looked like he'd never played quarterback before in his life. He was making the wrong decisions, letting Terry McLaurin get the best of him. I benched Terry McLaurin this week on my fantasy team. I feel like an absolute asshole right now because I thought the Giants defense was going to play. I was like, Taylor Heinicke, no freaking way. The guy is a subpar quarterback. He was about to freaking quit the NFL before Washington picked his ass up. The Giants just let him march down the field on 30 points on a defense that gave up less than 12 last year to Seattle and Russell Wilson. What happened, man? I don't know what else to say. It's embarrassing. You know, you're looking at the statistics right now. Heinicke was 336 yards and 2 touchdowns. He almost doubled his touchdown totals in one game in his whole career today. You know what I mean? Terry McLaurin had 107 yards and a touchdown, all on James Bradbury, of course, right? The Giants had 1 sack from Azeez Ojulari on the second play of the game. They look lost. The running game, non-existent. Saquon Barkley, outside, he had a 41-yard run and only averaged 4.4 yards per carry. Do you understand how freaking bad that is when you realize he had a 41-yard run and still only averaged 4.4 yards per carry? That means every other carry, I'll tell you right now, he had 13 carries, right? 13 carries. One of those carries had 41 yards, meaning he had 16 yards on 12 carries, okay? He's useless out there. Why even play the guy? I don't understand what the team... Kadarius Toney didn't even get a freaking target. And I'm not even complaining about the offense because the offense looked fine. But seriously, guys, the defense really pissed me off. Patrick Graham, I liked fat Patrick Graham better.
Yeah, skinny Patrick Graham's not doing it, bro. And I'll say the offense did look fine to an extent. There were still some drives where I said, "Oh my God, I want to claw my eyes out watching this." And I understand not every drive can be perfect, but if there's ever a drive that you need to be perfect, it's after that James Bradbury interception. What the hell were they doing? Why were they playing that so conservatively? You are not winning that game by kicking a field goal with a little over 2 minutes to play unless you're extremely lucky. And the Giants almost got lucky, but then they got unlucky like they usually do. So you got to prepare for getting unlucky when you're the New York Giants, right? Instead, they play that super conservatively at the end of the game. They run the ball twice and then they throw a horrible quick slant against a full out cover zero blitz on 3rd and 7, and it's behind Sterling Shepard, and that pretty much ended the game right there. Yeah, they kicked the field goal. Graham Gano connects. Great for my fantasy team. He dropped over 20 points. Thank you, Graham Gano. But that in the long-term grand scheme of things for the New York Giants, that was stupid, and it wasn't going to be a winning formula. That's not how you win a football game, playing that conservatively. And I'll even say this. This is why I'm really pissed at Joe Judge. This is not a Jason Garrett thing. That's what I'm starting to realize. This is a New York Giants thing. They play ridiculously conservative on both sides of the ball. They're playing so conservatively down the stretch with the defense. They're just sitting in these soft zones, letting Washington dink and dunk their way down the field into field goal range. Where's the pressure? Where's the creative disguise coverages? Where's the blitzes? There's nothing. It's literally just sit back in a soft zone and let them gain yardage at will. It's bend, don't break. But at this point, you're going to bend all the way because all they have to do is get a field goal. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm really frustrated. This is really hard, like, to just digest right now and regurgitate back to you guys because this is just a painful loss. Like Alex mentioned, this is one of the most painful losses we've endured recently, and we've endured a lot of painful losses. But this is one of those losses that makes you feel like your season is damned within the first 2 weeks of the year, and I hate feeling that way.
Bro. Our schedule is crazy. We are going to get smacked around this year.
I always said this schedule in particular, the first half of the season, pretty manageable. The second half of the season, good luck. And if the Giants can't get wins during the first half of the season, good luck.
I do want to say prayers up to Nick Gates, who suffered a lower leg fracture. Prayers up. Love the guy. He is the one guy everyone says I'd go to war with him. Losing him is a huge loss. I will say the pocket was great in pass pro this game. They shut down Chase Young and Montez Sweat for the most part. I didn't see Sweat make any big plays. So, they had a couple plays like they're going to, but for the most part, the Giants were throwing. They were throwing a lot, and they looked good, man. Offensive line stepped up big time. I thought they played pretty well. I'm pretty confident that, Rob Sales got them whipped into shape. But that defense, man, what is going on back there? The secondary is a mess. We have a Dory Jackson and James Bradbury, Logan Ryan back there. What is going on, man? This is crazy to me. I'm just in pain, man. My heart hurts, like physically hurts. This is a tough one to swallow, And
I just want to talk about the Darius Slay drop again. I'm really pissed about that. How the hell do you drop that ball? Like, that is just so ridiculous and inexcusable.
His first touchdown was great, man. But like you said, it's got to be in the breadbasket for him to catch it.
Exactly.
He has hands like baby feet. Awful.
Daniel Jones threw a perfect pass on that first one. Touchdown. He throws a slightly less than perfect pass on the second one. Drop. And people are making excuses for Darius Slay. It's unbelievable.
You got to catch it, man. You're a freaking professional receiver in the NFL. Your literal job is to get paid millions of dollars to catch a freaking ball. Catch the ball. Otherwise get off the team. Get replaced. How about this? Use Kadarius Toney, you jackass.
I was just about to say
Kadarius Toney, you freaking idiots.
Another thing. That's another thing. Why do you spend the 20th overall pick in the NFL draft on a wide receiver who doesn't play? Like, what sense does that make? We could have gone with an offensive tackle. We could have stayed at 11 and gone with Rashawn Slater, who shut down offensive or defensive linemen last week. You could have done that. You could have traded back, gone with right tackle, gone with Elijah Vera Tucker. There were moves for the Giants to make out there to improve areas of this team rather than drafting this guy that they're going to use as a gadget player or just not even use at all. And then here's another thing. There's a certain player on this team that we're paying $18 million a year to. His name is Kenny Golladay. This man is not living up to even $10 million of his contract. He is not playing good football. He had a drop today. He's not separating. He's not really getting open at all. He's not doing anything of value, but he's screaming at Daniel Jones on the sideline. Meanwhile, Daniel Jones is pouring his heart out onto this field, playing one of the best games of his NFL career. So what exactly are we paying Kenny Golladay $18 million a year for? For arguments on the sideline, for dropped passes, for little to no separation? Like, what are we getting out of him? I understand he had a little hamstring injury. Okay, he's healthy by now. He is definitely healthy by now. He's participating in every single
He
practice
was running
fully.
routes, man.
He's a healthy player.
He was
Yeah,
getting
he's
targets. He
out
just
there.
dropped a couple. You know, he had that
Yeah,
deep target. Should have caught that.
I mean,
you're right, though. You're right. I mean,
you know,
you're being paid that much money to catch.
what confuses me is like those plays where they design them for Darius Slayton, right? And Darius Slayton goes deep and drops these passes. Why are we not designing those plays for our $18 million per year wide receiver who's brought in to be that deep threat receiver? Like, design them for him. Put him in these positions to make these plays. Instead, Darius Slayton, this fifth round third year player out of Auburn, like, he was never supposed to be this player that he is. Maybe we're handing him too much to eat. You know what I mean? Like, it's just top to bottom, bro. There's so much confusion out here. I'm pretty sure Eli Penny also got banged up in this game. Shout out to him. He played a decent game, had a couple nice rushes for first downs. And again, Sterling Shepard was awesome. Another game with over 90 yards. He was 9 receptions on 10 targets, the only one being the one that was thrown behind him on that 3rd and 7. Could have clinched the game. I just can't stand the play calling there. How are you only gaining 3 yards on 1st and 2nd down? We all watched the Eli and Peyton Manning broadcast of Monday Night Football, right? What did Peyton Manning say? 3rd downs are converted on 1st and 2nd down. Why doesn't Jason Garrett have that same mentality, that same philosophy when it comes to calling plays? Gain some yardage on 1st down, gain some yardage on 2nd down, make 3rd down manageable for your quarterback, especially in that situation where if you get a touchdown, you win the game. That play calling was horrendous. I can't forgive that. I can't forgive Darius Slayton's drop. We always make fun of Evan Engram. We give him a ton of shit, and we laugh, and then we cry about that drop against the Eagles last year and how painful that was. This is the exact same thing. What Darius Slayton just did is the exact same thing, maybe even more egregious because it was wide open with nobody within 20 yards in the middle of the end zone. Again, dude, I'm just frustrated. I'm in a real bad emotional state. And I'm really questioning everything, including Joe Judge, including, James Bradbury, even. Like, that was a phenomenal read at the end. But that's my thing, though. What a play. What a smart, intelligent, high IQ football play by James Bradbury. Where is that all game? And you want to know what I think it is? I just think he's not in position to make those plays. I think it's a crappy defensive scheme right now. Why was the scheme so good last year?
Why did they changed it from a zone to a man? And it's freaking ridiculous.
Do you remember? I don't know if you remember this, but I said this at some point during the offseason. We were talking about this, and you were like, oh, the Giants are getting back to this press man scheme. They're going to change their scheme completely. It's going to be awesome. And I was like, dude, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. The Giants got the most out of all their players last year, playing the super complex disguised zone coverage scheme. I get that it was really complex. It wasn't easy to digest, and it was a lot of moving pieces with a lot of young, talented players who maybe weren't used to playing in defense like that. But it worked. We had a phenomenal defense last year. Why would we gut that and start over? Like, the scheme that we had was great, and then we just totally threw it away for this new scheme that's just not working, and this one needs to be thrown away, and we need to bring the old one back in. If we can salvage that one from the dumps, we have to reinstall that scheme from last year. Heavy zone coverage, disguise the coverages, make some smart football plays like James Bradbury did at the end there. Whatever they're doing now, this soft zone, sit back, drop back, and make tackles is just not working. It's horrible, and it's costing us games.
I gotta shit on Dave Gellman for a couple of minutes because the guy has gotten away with franchise murder, okay? He has come here, taken his little saber, his little knife, and stabbed our franchise in the back, shanked us, prison shank, twisted, killed us. He is 15-37 as our general manager. Never had a winning record since he's been here. We've never had a winning record since he's been here. He is ass. He is awful. He hit on some free agent guys last year that overplayed, that overperformed their contracts for one season. You know what I mean? You need to see multiple years of production. Obviously, I still think Bradbury and Blake Martinez are good players, But like you said, they changed the scheme. Why would you? You don't have to change something if you don't fix it. Dave Gettleman was selling this concept that if you can't play good man coverage in the NFL, you can't have a good defense. It's not true. What I don't understand, like if you're winning games and you have a good unit,
Remember the Legion of
what's the
Boom?
point? That's
Remember
what
the
I'm
Seattle
saying.
Seahawks defense that won a Super Bowl because their defense was so good against Peyton Manning and the record-breaking Broncos offense? All they did was play zone defense. They were constantly playing zone. They were literally just a zone coverage defense. They rarely played man. Richard Sherman's one of the greatest zone coverage cornerbacks of all time. James Bradbury is one of the best zone coverage cornerbacks in the NFL right now. Replicate that. Don't replicate whatever the hell they're trying to replicate now with these soft zones and these man coverage defenses that just suck. This scheme sucks. This offensive scheme sucks. This team sucks. I know I already did this whole tangent about how bad this team is and how badly they suck, but what else am I supposed to say, man? This team is not going anywhere. This season does feel over, and it's only 2 weeks in.
I still got to come back around, and like I think Patrick Graham can get it fixed. I think over the season we'll see some good performances. And the offense took a big step forward today, in my opinion, which is a positive. But at some point, they got to fire Dave Gettleman, right? Like, what does he have on John Mara? Like, that's so bad because he is 15-37, right? He drafted Saquon Barkley, which now looks like a massive mistake. And I'm not going to talk about that. He drafted Daniel Jones, who had clear deficiencies, and then, the turnovers, and he's had a couple of good games, but he's wildly inconsistent. We need to see more from him. We need to see a whole season of good play without him taking 2 or 3 games off to fumble and throw interceptions. We need to see some good football from him, right? The thing is, if you look at the draft picks that Dave Gettleman's made the past couple of years, which one of them stand out to you? Our best players are free agent picks. Good teams are built on draft picks. The foundation of good teams is built through the draft. The Giants have built their foundation through free agency, which is a big, big, big problem. Our best players right now are all free agents. The only guys that have taken steps forward that were draft picks, Andrew Thomas has looked good so far this year. Daniel Jones has had a couple of good games, but still very much undecided. Saquon Barkley has been an absolute bust for us up to this point. I mean, he had that one big carry today, but otherwise had 12 yards on 16 carries or whatever, 14 carries. He was pretty much useless. The Giants went out and drafted, I think Aaron Robinson injured from this year's draft. Allerson Smith injured. These guys just not doing anything.
Our best running back is Daniel Jones.
And that's the saddest part of it. And that's what Steve Smith said during halftime. He was like, Saquon Barkley should be your leading running back every week. He should be leading in rushing yards every single week. But
he should be leading in rushing yards with one leg because we spent the second overall pick on him. Yeah. He was supposed to be this generational running back talent. He should be fine. He should be rushing for 100 yards. Instead, Daniel Jones is out here running for 95 yards and a touchdown, and he really should have had over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. So
it's the reason I avoided him like the plague in fantasy football, because I don't trust the scheme to get him into the right position to succeed. I don't trust him coming off an injury at all. And clearly I was right for that, because he doesn't look like normal Saquon. He looks like he's diving on contact. He's not trying to pick up extra yards. He's not using that extra burst, that extra strength in his physicality.
Because he doesn't have it. I don't think he has that burst and that extra explosion that he had in his rookie year that made him such a dominant player in college and as a rookie. I don't think it's there. And if it doesn't come back now, when will it? Will it be too late?
He's never going to be the same. I think next year, and they say like the second year after coming back from a big injury is usually when running backs bounce back. But do we have that much?
If Saquon that's a nightmare scenario for the Giants.
Oh, it is exactly, because then they have to. Then
they got to pay him after.
If Dave Gettleman is going to get fired this year, he is going to get fired this year, and another general manager is going to come in and say, we are trading Saquon for as much draft capital as we can possibly get, because at the end of the day, you cannot pay him. You simply can't. The Giants have invested too much money this offseason on long-term contracts to pay Saquon Barkley, which is going to be the saddest day of our lives that we had to let him walk, because he did not amount to what we thought was a gold jacket level player. But at the same time, we're also going to figure out that you don't need a running back like him to succeed in the NFL. Clearly, he did absolutely nothing today aside from that one run, and the Giants scored 27 points. You don't need a good running back. And that's the reality.
You said you weren't going to get into it, but I tricked you into getting into it. I had to
Son of
get
a
you to
gun.
say these things.
God, I hate you. I'm very
Yeah,
emotional right now, and you're taking advantage of that.
I know. I took advantage of you in a fragile state.
I was vulnerable after watching that game. I can't,
We
man.
all are. This is just
I just can't.
painful.
Dave Gettleman's got to answer for his crimes against humanity. This is what he has done to this franchise is a crime against humanity. He has destroyed so many lives. I hope he goes to sleep tonight knowing how many people he's upset over the past 3 years, how many
Mm,
people he's made cry, throw shit at their TVs,
mm.
run laps for no reason because people think that's a fun thing to do. I'm never running a lap for fun for Joe Judge ever. He doesn't deserve for me to run a lap. His own team can't stay disciplined. Why the hell should I do that? It's ridiculous.
This is just a painful moment. Yeah, I feel like I've exhausted myself here. I don't know. I'm looking forward to reviewing all this stuff throughout the week, though. Film breakdown. There were some nice plays that the Giants ran.
There
Daniel
was.
Jones had some really nice throws. That
He
throw
looked
to,
great.
I think it was to Kyle Rudolph in the fourth quarter,
Yeah,
that
great.
anticipatory throw over the middle.
Mm-hmm.
That was a
Beautiful.
veteran quarterback throw. Finally, that was really nice. He's made a couple of those in his career, but that was one of the best in a tough situation, like in a fourth quarter clutch situation. But listen, man, they better win on Sunday of next week. Because if I fly up to New York to go see this Eli Manning jersey retirement
We're
ceremony and
doing
the
it for Eli,
Giants
man. We're not doing
lose,
it for the
I'm only
Giants.
going. I'm only going for Eli Manning. But I'm excited for that, I guess. But I'm really not excited to watch this team. It's just so hard to watch right now.
It's
I'm just
painful, bro.
Kyle Pitts is
Painful.
about to have like 300 receiving yards against us, isn't he?
I don't want to talk about that right now. I just want to simmer in my own anger for I need to go to sleep, man. I gotta go drink some bleach and go to bed. Hopefully I won't wake up tomorrow. Oh my god. This is why I leave a lot of other sports up for grabs. The Knicks season's coming around. Happy about that. The Yankees blew a game today. Guys, have some other teams on schedule to watch
This
this
is
year because
this is all I've got.
this is all I know, man. This is brutal, man. This is
I can't
brutal.
take this anymore. I really
Look,
can't.
look,
This is so bad for my
I'll
mental.
tell you what. When the season ends, hopefully, I don't even. The thing is, like, I don't even want to win like 5 games this year and then have like the 10th, like 12th pick anymore. I'd rather just blow it up, get the first pick, and then like go walk into the sunset with like the best quarterback available or the best pass rusher available, and fire Dave Gettleman, shoot him to the moon so we can never talk to anyone on this team again. They've
I mean,
swindled Kenny Galladay. They've convinced him that we're a good team. He was yelling at Daniel Jones. I saw today. Unbelievable, man. But guys, I hope you are as angry as we are because we deserve to be pissed off. We deserve to be pissed off. They've promised us. That's the worst part. They've come out here and promised things to fans, and it's all been for shit. For shit. It's like promising your dog you're going to take him for a walk and then you leave. I'm still waiting for that walk, bro. Still waiting for that treat. It's a disaster. But guys, I hope you get a good night's sleep. Hopefully the hangover is not too bad tomorrow for you guys. Hopefully the bleach doesn't kill you. That's all. Make sure to subscribe below on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify if you want to enjoy the rest of the season with us. Of course, we are very real. All these emotions, raw, very raw emotion from us.
and very unbiased. This is pretty unbiased stuff right here. We're being very critical of the players we need to be
What else
and the
can we do,
coaches. You really can't fake this stuff. This team is bad, guys. This is a bad football team. This is the Washington football team that just hung 30 on us. Like
Taylor Heineke. Heineke had 3
the
touchdowns
backup quarterback.
going into this game in his career. Just hung 30 on us.
If you can't beat a backup quarterback in this situation, divisional road game,
Oh, we
prime
play the
time,
Chiefs this year. Patrick Mahomes is going to make us look like
and we
schoolyard
play
kids.
the Buccaneers.
Tom Brady is going to shred us to pieces. We're going to be a Chipotle shredded chicken bowl after that game, bro. They're going to be serving our players up at Chipotle.
I don't even think I want to go to that game that I was supposed to because it's in Florida, so I can go. I don't even know if I want to. But maybe I will because now the tickets are bound to be cheap since the Giants suck so badly.
That's true. Just go to watch Tom, honestly. At this point, he's going to retire eventually. Go to watch him destroy it.
That's a phenomenal point. I guess I will go. But whatever. That's all.
But guys, try to enjoy the rest of your night. Get a good night's sleep. We are definitely not going to, but we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Start breaking down this film, start breaking down this team, what went right, what went wrong. I don't want to do it, but we're going to do it anyway. But make sure to subscribe below as always, guys. We'll catch you guys on the next New York Giants video.